it's short for Christian. I'm studying a BSc at Stellenbosch. I'm studying molecular biology and biotechnology. My dream is actually to be a vet. I want to study at Pretoria, but I didn't get in last year, so I'm going to try again this year and next year and the year after that. Obviously my most cherished thing in my room is my babies, but they're not really items. So probably like my pride and joy, aside from the guitars because there's too many of them, is my boots. I love my boots. They're behind you. Okay, so these are my boots and I got them for Christmas in 2016 and I wear them almost every day. They're my prized possession. I don't know why, but they have some sort of emotional attachment for me, and yeah, they've lasted forever. Nothing bad has ever happened to them. They're caterpillar boots, so I mean they're pretty robust. Yeah, I plan to have them around for a long time. I think they're like a constant in my life, and yeah, like in a world that's like always changing like super rapidly, there's something that's like always there. So yeah. So normally when I get home I just sort of take them out of the cage because they've been alone all day. And then I just sort of let them run around and let's go out the window. Head. And I'll just sort of lay on my bed with them and unwind from the day and everything that's gone on. Okay. Alright, so this one is Sir Isaac Newton, named after the physicist. Yes, okay. Because he sort of invents his own rules of gravity and stuff. He can jump like this high into the air, straight up. And then this is Edgar Allan Poe, named after the author. Yeah. I don't know why, I thought it was a good name for a rat. Okay. Probably firstly messy, and most people agree with that. But also like comfy, and I think authentic, you know. I think my room is authentic. Because a lot of people put so much effort into making their room like aesthetic, but mine is just like, this is just my stuff. Definitely my bed. Or probably this space actually. I have like, I don't know if you can see, I have a beanbag in here. So if I really need to get away, then I'll just sit in the corner here. Nobody can see me if they walk in. And I just sit here with them, or I'll just read or sleep. I don't know. So yeah, there's that space. My room is really like a sanctum type of space, you know. Like anything could be going on in the rest of the house, but that doesn't affect what happens in here. It feels like it's on another plane of existence from the rest of the house, you know. Well, one of the most obvious things in my room is all the guitars. So music is something that's really important to me, that's sort of sustained me throughout my entire life. So I have all these guitars. There's some guitars over there as well, I don't know if you can see. I didn't have enough space. But yeah, just having all of them here to just like take me out of whatever's going on, you know, just like a release type of thing, and they're just always there whenever I need them to be there. And like even if one of them is like in the shop or has a broken string, like this one has a broken string, I have all the others, so it's like I'm never without them. So just starting from this side, this is Helios. All of them are named after like Greek gods and stuff. So this is Helios, the original god of the sun. And if you see that one over there, that's Apollo, who's the younger god of the sun, so because that looks like a miniature version of this, that's why I did that. And all the acoustics are named after wind gods. So this is Notus, the god of the south wind. This is Boreas, the god of the north wind. And this is Aeolus, who's the god of wind in general, and the god of weather. This is Thanatos, which is like the angel of death in Greek mythology. This is Vulcan, which is the god of fire, like volcanoes and metalwork and things. This is Terra, who's the goddess of the earth, because I like the wood look of it. And then this is Nyx, who's the original goddess of the night. She's like the embodiment of the night. Okay, I've always been into music just because of how I was raised. My dad's also really into music. He is a director at a music store, so he's like in the industry and everything. So I've just sort of been raised to be into music. I started in grade 3, I started playing recorder. That was my first instrument. And by then my dad was already using me like for advertising. He would take photos of me with the guitars in the store, put them on the website and stuff. So I've always wanted to play the guitar. I got my first guitar, I must have been 11 years old, which was that one over there. And from there I just like my love for guitar has just grown so much. My first electric was the black one. I got that in grade 6, so I was like 12. And since then I've been playing forever, all the time. I took music in high school, which really put me in a position where I had to play guitar every day, and I played like in the school bands and stuff like that. I played bass in the church band as well, so I got into the bass. So I bought myself a bass guitar. Yeah, so I've just been always really into music, and it's always been something that is a support sort of system for me. It's just been something that I sort of grew up with, and it's just an integral part of my life. Like I can't imagine my life without it. Yeah. And I have so many guitars because my dad is a director at a music store, so I'm very fortunate to be able to afford them through him, because he obviously gets staff discounts and stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay, my band is called Do Not Resuscitate. It's kind of edgy, I play guitar and I sing backup, and then the other guy, his name is Kian, he sings lead, and he has the most beautiful voice. Just want to put that out there. We mostly play like acoustic type of songs and like indie, like the first song we ever played was Hey There Delilah. So yeah, that type of stuff is what we do. We mostly just like play for ourselves, you know. We just come in here and we just jam. We don't really do gigs so much. Yeah.
Not yet.
Sort of inherited my love of music from my dad. I inherited my love of reading from my mom. So she's always been like the type of mother, she would read to us every night. And I've always loved books. I sort of taught myself to read when I was young by sort of following my parents when they read to me. So one day I just came to them and like read a page out of a book, and they were like, oh my god. So my favorite books are fantasy books, and that absolutely started with the Narnia series. So I still love them. I have the whole series over here. So with the Narnia series. I actually want to get a tattoo of the lamppost from Narnia, because it's really it's what sort of sparked my love of fantasy. And fantasy is really like a big thing in my life. I'm like, okay, it sounds really like cheesy to be like I'm a dreamer, but like sort of like alternate realities and alternate possibilities are just always playing in my head of like what could be happening and what will probably never happen, but you know, I fantasize all the time. Fantasy is just a huge part of me, and Narnia is what really kicked that off for me. So those are really influential books in my life. And then of course, because I'm a nerd, I have my Shakespeare's. This my dad actually gave to me. So it's like falling apart, but it's called The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. So it has like all his sonnets, it has a ton of plays in it. It's really old and fragile and brittle. And then obviously there's Edgar Allan Poe, the name of my rat. So I really love his work. I have been through like really dark times in my life, and I really appreciate his dark literature because it's like, it's sort of something that I'm like, I know what it feels like to be in darkness like that, and somebody else knows what it's like to be in darkness like that, and they know how to put it into words, and I can't put it into words. So yeah, that's what I really like about his work. Then there's The Lord of the Rings. I'm obsessed with Tolkien's work. I just gotta put that out there. I'm actually obsessed. I have... Okay, this is The Hobbit. This is the Lord of the Rings series. This is Beowulf, Tolkien's translation of Beowulf. And I actually, unfortunately, don't have all my Tolkien books here because I lended them to somebody who also likes Tolkien. He's actually my ex, and we started dating through a love of Tolkien. And we stayed friends after we broke up through a love of Tolkien. So that's really, it has actually connected me with people. My best friend in the world from primary school, who basically when everyone else abandoned me, we were together all the time. We just spoke about Lord of the Rings. Like, that's what we did. So this is also one of his books, The Children of Húrin. And then I also have Tales from the Perilous Realm and The Silmarillion. I haven't read The Silmarillion because it's really, I've read like a few pages and it's so difficult to read. But yeah. There's some of my books. Also have like the shelf. I don't know if you're familiar with like Rick Riordan's work, like Percy Jackson and stuff. I have this entire shelf of literally just, so this is Percy Jackson. I'm not that into it anymore, but like I have all the books. This is Percy Jackson. And then I have all the Heroes of Olympus, which is the rest of the Greek series, the Trials of Apollo, and then I have the Red Pyramid, which is his Egyptian series. And I have Magnus Chase, which is his Norse series. So yeah, this is just a shelf full of his work. And then there's obviously Harry Potter. I have Harry Potter bed sheets, if you didn't notice. So I'm kind of obsessed, but I don't have them in my room because those books belong to all of us, because me, my brother and my mom all love Harry Potter. So those are in the lounge because we all read them. So, yeah. Obviously there's a big sort of variety. Like I have like a horse and carriage, and then I have like a pirate ship, which is sort of what my childhood was, you know. My brother had like, I don't know if you know Action Man type of figurines, and then I had like dolls. Obviously my parents bought me dolls, but then they would go off on like crime fighting adventures together, you know, sort of mixing the two completely separate elements of femininity and masculinity, which is what my childhood was basically. So I have the horse and carriage, which was a really big deal because my grandparents actually got it for me, and my grandmother is not alive anymore. And it was so cool because I love animals, obviously. I always had more animal toys than I did like people toys. But like, so I loved horse toys that like my dolls could ride on or whatever, and this was like taking it to the next level, and I was like the coolest bitch because I had a horse and carriage. Like, it's so cool. And then I have my little pirate ship, which I still love my little pirate ship, even though my brother got like a giant Pirates of the Caribbean one like this big. I love my little pirate ship, it's cute. And then like this boat, I don't know, you can't really tell that it's a boat. my dad actually made this when he was a kid. So my dad wasn't super well off, and he used to make all his own toys. So, and he took really good care of them, so he still had like all of them. I have a bunch of my dad's old toys. So I just keep this in my room because it's sort of humbling. Like, you know, I have super cool toys that were like probably really expensive that my grandparents bought me. But then I also have this little wooden boat that my dad made when he was a little kid, because like, you know, everyone comes from somewhere. And it just sort of reminds me like how privileged I am, like, to have all this stuff and to have 8 guitars, when this is where my dad came from, making little wooden boats. So yeah, this is the important thing. I enjoy painting. I really love painting. I'm not very good at it, to be perfectly honest, but I enjoy it, and it's something that like helps to really calm me, you know, like, because you like with the soft controlled strokes, like it's a really calming thing. And I think anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. So if you really enjoy something and you really want to do it, it doesn't matter how bad you are at doing it, you know, just do it and just enjoy it. So like, this is a painting that I did of my Patronus. So my Patronus is a vole, which is it's kind of like a rodent type of animal. So yeah, I did this because like I see a Patronus as like a guardian against my like I struggle with depression. So the Patronus is really something that's like an uplifting force that's sort of there when you're in really dark times, when you're really struggling. So I painted this and also painted this giraffe because I really like giraffes. I'm really proud of this one. I sort of went for a little Bob Ross type of vibe with the colours. I watch a lot of Bob Ross. My dad loves elephants. He has like a giant elephant tattoo on his leg. So I made this for his birthday and I'm super proud of it. I think it turned out really well. Right, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for visiting my space. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe and comment down below. Bye!